Hi everybody, it's Laura. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. Today I have a layout that I made for this month's A Punched Out Thursday to Die For. In A Punched Out Thursday to Die For, we use punches and dies to create a scrapbooking layout. I have to apologize, this video is being posted a little late. We try to post our videos in the morning, and I had planned to voice this video over last night. The video has been done for a long time because when I was at a scrapbooking retreat, I made a couple of layouts that I could use for A Punched Out Thursday to Die For. But I was feeling a little dizzy last night, and I realized I had just been, what do they say, burning the candle at both ends, and I should probably get some rest. So I'm voicing this over on Thursday evening, but luckily I believe I'll be able to get this onto my channel before Thursday is over. To create this video, I'm using one of my Creative Scrapbook kits that I've already used quite a number of times, but I had a number of papers and embellishments that I wanted to try to put together and make a page. When I'm packing for a scrapbooking weekend, I sometimes get a little stressed. Well, always get a little stressed. I'm always worried I'm going to forget something. So over the years, I found that it works really well for me to bring kits with me. Sometimes they're leftover kits that I've already dipped into, either a little bit or a lot. But at least I know that I have some matching papers and embellishments to work with. I try to make sure that I have some photos to go along with the papers. And then if I don't remember to bring everything, if there are still some finishing touches that I want to add, I could always add those when I get home. For this layout, I'm using a My Creative Scrapbook kit that I've already made quite a few layouts with. There were, however, some nice papers and a whole bunch of nice embellishments left over. I don't remember when this kit is from or what collection this is, but I know this is a 49 and Market paper collection. I had already started this layout. It just wasn't coming together the way I wanted it to. I already had the background paper mounted on another piece of pattern paper. You could see there's a little darker border around the outside, and my photo was already matted. I first matted it on some paper that I had embossed with gold embossing powder, and then I added a piece of blue pattern paper behind it. And I'm sorry that it looks a little blurry right now. That will clear up in just a moment. For this layout, I have a floral cluster in the upper right-hand corner, one in the lower left-hand corner, and then I have a small cluster in the upper left-hand corner where I have my title, which is Dream. I love including butterflies on my layouts as embellishments, so I have one above the title. There's one printed on the background, and then earlier I fussy cut a third butterfly out of one of the pattern papers. I love the way 49 and Market collections have so many great elements that you can layer behind your photos. So I have a large doily, that peach colored doily that I put on top of the photo. Then I layered a number of cards and frames in that same area on top of the photo and also to the left of it. I have a sentiment under my photo that says, "You are amazing." I have a tab and a yellow butterfly off to the right-hand side of my photo. I forgot about that butterfly. I have 3 orange butterflies, and I also have the 1 yellow butterfly. Earlier, I used one of my punches to punch out some photo corners. I thought that orange would be a good color. It's kind of the accent color on this layout. And then I inked the edges with some Archival ink. I forgot to bring my inks with me, so my friend Sue loaned me her Archival ink in potting soil. That's Ranger brand Archival ink. I used the Archival ink that Sue had loaned to me to ink up a number of the elements that are on the page. I inked the butterflies and the flowers, and just now I added kind of a double banner underneath the title, and I used it for that as well. As I mentioned, I had already started a layout using a lot of the elements that I have here on this layout. So some of them are already inked, but with a different color. I used some Distress Oxide in Black Soot. So the butterflies and the sentiment that's underneath the photo, those have some black soot on them, but I really don't think that they're super noticeable or stand out from the rest of the elements. Up to this point, I have not used any dies, and I only used 1 punch to punch out those photo corners. I have to say I don't use a ton of punched out pieces on this layout, but I will be adding some die cuts in a little while, and I use quite a few of the die cuts. However, I only use 1 die. There were some branches, and I wanted to cut those branches with flowers on them into smaller pieces. I have some of them tucked into the two clusters around the photo, and I'm also going to include a small branch underneath the title cluster. I know that not everybody works from kits. I know some people will purchase kits, some people make their own kits, and some people don't use kits at all. I really love when I'm using a kit when I use up all of the papers in the kit. I don't think I've ever used up all of the papers and all of the embellishments, but I do get so much satisfaction over using up every piece of 12 by 12 inch paper in the kit. And I also like the challenge of combining the papers and the embellishments that are left over. Once I've picked out all of my favorite papers and embellishments, I feel that sometimes, not always, but at times, some of my favorite layouts come from working with a small number of materials rather than having a huge amount of choice. I don't know why it works that way, but I also really enjoy the satisfaction of kind of finishing off a kit. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm using the last of the papers and embellishments. I had some gold leaves, not sure where those came from. Those were made from some glitter paper. And I thought that it would be nice to have a little bit of shiny gold somewhere else on the layout other than just around the photo. So I added a couple of leaves to the right-hand side of the title. I had also just tucked an orange label to the left-hand side of my photo. I thought that kind of balanced the orange out a little bit more. Now I'm playing around with these sequins. They're not actually sequins. They are images of sequins that were die cuts from the paper collection. And I found that I didn't like them in the open areas. I thought that they looked better a little bit closer to the clusters. Otherwise, I felt like there was too much happening in those areas that are probably better left blank so that your eye has a place to rest. And now look, I found that I did bring an ink with me. I bought my Distress ink in Vintage Photo, one of my favorite inks, and I finally used a die. I used this branch die and I cut out a whole bunch of them in white, and I'm inking the edges of them with the brown just so that they won't look stark white and there'll be a little bit of contrast between them and the background. The die that I use to cut out these branches, I believe it's an unbranded die. I used to buy a whole bunch of those from eBay many years ago, and this is one of them. And as much as I love them, unfortunately, a lot of them are no longer available and they're really hard to search for. But they have a lot of these dies now, I've noticed. A lot of big manufacturers are making these branch dies with, they look like little berries or little buds on them. I like to think of them as having little buds, and I think that they add a really nice detail to floral clusters, so I use them a lot. I used part of a pattern paper from this collection to die cut out all of those branches. Most of them look off-white, but there are some of them that have a little bit of text on them that you can see, and the reason for that is, of course, that I used pattern paper rather than just using some white cardstock. I like the way using the pattern paper helps those embellishments to match with the color scheme on the layout. Once I have all of those die cut branches placed where I want them on the layout, I use some gel glue to hold them in place. I like to use ATG adhesive, but these die cuts are a little bit too fragile to attempt to put ATG adhesive on. And then because I put some foam behind some of the embellishments, I use some gel glue to hold those down because the ATG adhesive won't hold them down permanently. As one of the finishing touches, I'm adding some enamel dots to the layout. These are navy blue dots. They're on the smaller side. I add one to each of the 4 photo corners, and then I add 2 of them to the banner that's below the title. On most of my layouts, not all of them, but most of them, I like to use some kind of paint or spray, and I hadn't used anything like that so far on this layout. I decided to add some splatters. This is watered down white acrylic paint. I am mainly concentrating the splatters on the areas where I have the clusters on the page. I like the way random splatters look the best, but sometimes when I can't get splatters in a particular spot, I'll just go in with the straw and dot them where I want them. I think that that is effective, especially when used in conjunction with some random splatters. The white splatters are the last touch. The layout is complete, and here are some close-ups. please don't forget to take a look in the description box of this video. You'll find links to the channels of Ronnie Sue, Kathy, and Sonia. They have some amazing videos on their channels. They have Punched Out Thursday to Die For and plenty of other wonderful videos. They are all very talented scrapbookers, and I think you'll really enjoy checking them out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you got a little bit of inspiration, and I hope that you have some creative time today to enjoy creating anything that makes you happy. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.